Hox21 here, back with another Splinterlands video. So I got an interesting comment today that I would describe as a conspiracy theory, and I responded basically right away. I originally wasn't going to make a video on it, but then I decided, okay, I'm going to give this person the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to toss this out here, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe other people are feeling the same way. Maybe someone has evidence of this, but just hasn't had a platform to come forward. Yeah, I'm kind of just going to toss this out to the Splinterlands ether and see if anyone can back up or provide any evidence of what this guy is saying. But until then, I think this is a pretty outlandish thing that is being mentioned here. And I just wanted to address it. But before I do, I am Hox21. I cover Splinterlands on this channel. If you are new here, Splinterlands is a blockchain-based video game that rewards you over time. So if you come here and you play every single day, you earn your reward chests. In months and years, you'll be surprised what your account grows into. So if you want to learn more about the game, you are in the right place. And consider subscribing to the channel. We are growing. We're at 1.25k. I think at 1.5k we'll do our next giveaway. So pushing towards that number. Very, very happy with the growth, and it's just been awesome to discuss this game with you guys. Okay, so let's get into the comment. I'm just going to read down. I also replied. We'll just read my reply at the end, but I'll probably end up saying everything I said in the reply. We'll just take it sort of sentence by sentence or paragraph by paragraph. Have you played against bots, especially in lower rank? Yes, I have. I run a lower ranked bot, which you were actually commenting on that video, and I watch back a lot of the battles just to see what lineups my bot is running, what lineups other people are running. I'm learning a lot from this process, so I am doing that. I'm pretty sure that, here's the conspiracy theory. I'm pretty sure the deck in my side is leaked in waiting for opponent screen. Then bots can counterpick to it within split seconds, which makes it so frustrating to play against. Okay, so this to me sounds a little outlandish for a couple of reasons. And the first is that this used to be possible, actually. I don't know how recently this person came into the game, but a while ago, and months and months and months ago, there was, when you submit a lineup, it would be immediately posted to the blockchain. So someone developed a bot that could scrape the blockchain data and spit out an effective counter lineup. But when that happens, something really obvious happens, which is you get these bot accounts that all of a sudden have 80%, 90%, whatever it is, really, really, really outlandishly high win rates, right? And then there were tons of accounts that all of a sudden started having these super, super, super high win rates. And people learned about it, and people started talking about it. It was a really, really quick process, and the team changed it. Right? So you can't do this anymore. That's not a thing. And so to me, the biggest point against this being a thing is that it's pretty obvious when it happens. And the team would notice that. The team's looking for stuff like that. They're constantly looking at win rates and things that stand out. That's why they're so quick to adjust things that to them don't make sense. So it's not like this isn't something that would slip through the cracks, in my opinion. Again, maybe I'm wrong. That's why I'm making this video, to see what other people think. But yeah, I think this is, I would need a lot of evidence to, say that this is happening. So I hope this, maybe he has some evidence. He just hasn't responded to me yet. But I wouldn't just be tossing around something like that all willy-nilly. And then he gets into, I talked about draw protection in that video. This sentence is just incorrect. It said draw protection, the bots will use the same deck as us if they can't pick the deck that counters us. Yeah, that's the exact opposite of what happens, actually. It's bots, when they play other bots, I think specifically within the same bot company, I guess. So like my Splintermates bot, if we play another Splintermates account, they're going to specifically not go for a draw. So it's the opposite of what you're saying here. And the question I was raising was kind of just a throwaway. It's not even that relevant. I was just generally curious what happens. You know, which side has to take a slightly suboptimal lineup, right? You know, I was just curious. Wasn't even that important, but this is incorrect, so I have to correct that. And then here we go. In match history. Oh, actually, one more thing I wanted to say up here. So, what I think is happening to this person is they're playing specifically at lower levels, right? Bronze, or I guess novice, bronze, and silver. For specific rule sets and specific splinters, there's a finite amount of, you know, lineups to toss out there. It's pretty predictable what's going to happen, right? So the bots know this as well, right? The bots know the most commonly played lineups in certain leagues and under certain rule sets. That's why bots do pretty well at the lower levels, but some of them start to struggle as they move higher. And so what I think's happening is the commenter is probably playing some of these super common lineups, and the bot expects these lineups to be coming, and so the bot puts out a counter to those. Right? It's not that difficult to do that. You know, you even have to be a bot to do that. If there's a situation calls for, you know, a bunch of magic attack or something, it's pretty easy to put out a really fantastic magic counter, right? And that happens a lot at the lower levels. So, you know, the bots are aware of this, right? They have all of that data. It's not difficult for them to sit there and say, okay, under this rule set, you know, 75% of the time people play Earth and play these cards, right? They know that, so they can then put out a lineup against some of the more commonly used lineups. And if you're playing the most commonly used lineups, it's going to look like they're specifically countering the lineup you put out there, but what they're really doing is playing numbers and countering the lineup that's most often played. So that's what I think is happening, and that's what I think this person is misconstruing as, you know, bots are constantly tossing out counters to him. It's because they are, but that's probably because he's playing some of the more popular lineups. Okay, so in match history, there are a lot of 0% win rates, which means counterpicking bots are real. Okay, this isn't, I assume he means like he'll go and watch his battles back on Splinter Tools to see what his win rate was. This is kind of what I was just talking about, actually, is that if they put out a perfect counter to you, your win rate's going to be super, super low. That's not that uncommon. Specifically at the lower levels again, where there's not as many abilities and synergies, like the RNG is lower at the lower levels. So if you put out a dominant lineup, you're most likely just going to win, right? There's less opportunity for, you know, things to happen that disrupt the, you know, standard math of any sort of game or whatever. So it's a much more finite outcome than it is at the higher levels. So again, I think you're just getting countered well by a bot that knows the most commonly played strategies, and therefore you have really, really low win rates in those matches. This is so unfair, unplayable, and unwinnable to real players. I even feel bad for newcomers, novice and bronze, who have to face O'Shaughnessy for almost every round. Well, having to face O'Shaughnessy is unfair. O'Shaughnessy is like... Hold on, let me look at something. O'Shaughnessy is the 6th cheapest legendary. Right? It's not like you just mentioned a card that is OP. And, I mean, O'Shaughnessy is very, very good. But it's not like you mentioned a card that's like $50, right? That's inaccessible for a lot of people. A level 1 O'Shaughnessy is very, very good. You see it here, the 2/5 with the Void, specifically at lower levels. And so that comment more even kind of proves what I'm thinking. I bet this guy spams a bunch of magic, comes up against, you know, a bot knows that people spam magic at lower levels, and so they see a bunch of O'Shaughnesses. He sees a bunch of O'Shaughnesses. But complaining that it's unfair because of O'Shaughnessy is super cheap. Everyone should have one O'Shaughnessy. Right? It's $2. So, you know, going up against O'Shaughnessy is not unfair. You should have an O'Shaughnessy. That part, you know, doesn't make a lot of sense to me. If you called out, you know, a $50 card, or, you know, if these bots were spamming Jotun or something, then sure, I would understand it. But you just mentioned a $2 card. You should have this card as well. And then he says, not sure about the results of bots to bots, but I hate the fact that the only way to play Splinterlands now is to rely on bots. I understood the uses of bots, but Splinterlands is not for humans anymore. I used to think Splinterlands is fun, but now this is disgusting. That's very strong language. But this is also just not true. The only way to play Splinterlands now is to rely on bots. We have, you know, data and anecdotes that bots are less effective at winning games than humans who are good at the game. I know it firsthand, right? I watch my Splintermates account play in bronze and silver and then eventually gold, right? And you've seen, I made a video on that throwaway account. I'll sometimes go in and play some games when it's close to the end of the reward session just so I can get that next chest. I have a much, I wouldn't say much, I have a higher win rate than the bot. The bot is winning like 54 to 55% of the games. I probably would win close to 60 to 65 of them if I were to guess. So that's significantly higher. And it's nothing against Splintermates, right? The Splintermates bot is amazing. The 55% win rate, plus I don't have to pay attention to it at all, is a huge plus. Like, the whole point of me using it isn't because I think it can win more matches than I can. I think very much the opposite. I use it because it saves me a bunch of time, right? I'm sacrificing wins for time. You know, I don't want to, I have my main account that I play a lot. I don't want to be playing this other account all the time. So that's why I use the bot. And then the other one is Dwayne, or Infidel. He has an account, I believe it has 3 million power on it, and he rents some of it out. But the Archmage bot, I believe, so he botted his accounts. He made videos on this. And I believe the Archmage bot used his 3 million power account, or 1.5 million, I think, after Rental's account. That is an insanely powerful deck. And you've seen his cards, right? He has almost every single card. And it couldn't get past Gold 1. It ended the season in Gold 1. The best cards in the game were given to the Archmage bot and couldn't get past Gold 1. So, again, it's not that the bots win more than humans. People use them because they're more convenient. And it's not all humans. They're better than humans that aren't good at the game. But humans that, you know, learn and know how to play at a high level will always beat the bots. So I'm also going to push back here of, like, the only way to play the game is not to rely on bots. Or, like, bots aren't some cheat code. They're a convenient thing that players can use, I will say. It might be different at lower levels, again, because there's more finite lineups to choose. But that still is just all the motivation to keep on moving up, so you have to deal with that less. And then I'll just read my thing. I think I covered most of this, but we'll see if I missed anything. I said, what proof do you have of this? I would need to see some evidence. Accounts that were using a counter-picking bot would have an insanely high win rate. Yeah, so I talked about this. I was like, I want to see some of these accounts. Like, what are some accounts that you're playing that you think are counter-picking you? I want to take a look. You know, I said the bots aren't very good. My bot underperforms my skill. Again, nothing against Splintermates. I absolutely love Splintermates service. I could not suggests it more, but it's just not better than me at playing the game. You know, oh, and I did mention 12's situation here. Yeah, and then Oceanus, Unreal card in bronze and silver that costs $2. Go buy one, right? If you think Oceanus is OP and you're struggling to beat it, go get yourself an Oceanus. And then just correcting him on the draw protection. But yeah, so you sort of got my feedback, but I guess to play devil's advocate, am I wrong? Am I missing something? Is something happening that I haven't seen or read about yet? You know, that's kind of why I'm putting it out here. Normally, I would just leave it to this comment, my response. But, you know, I'm kind of curious. Has anyone else experienced this? Does anyone else think this is happening? I don't want you to, like, I know I was a little bit strong in my response, but I actually want you to come forward, right? Like, is this something that you think is happening? Don't be afraid. I am going to ask you for proof and evidence, right? I don't want you to just say, like, yeah, I think this is happening, without providing me something. But I want to hear from you. So yeah, I'm going to stop it there. You know, obviously I have a lot of disagreements with this comment, but I still appreciate the comment. I always want you to speak your mind in my videos. And if this person does respond with their in-game name, I will even give them some DEC. So there you have it. You post a comment I consider to be a conspiracy theory, and I make a video on it, and you get some DEC. I mean, it's like a win-win-win. So, all right, I'm going to stop it there. I am very excited for the town hall on Tuesday. It's going to be awesome. Very excited to find out more about Rift Watchers, about the tower defense game. I will be live tweeting it per usual, and obviously making videos about any of the big news that comes out. But until then, I will see you around the game. Thanks for watching.